Getting laid off brings a lot of shame to oneself, anxieties about the future, and uncertainty about what direction to take in life. Overall, it's an overwhelming experience, and in my recent vlogs, I kind of discussed more so about the positives of being an independent artist, but today I want to focus more on the realities of the dark side. Starting off in the morning to combat these negative thoughts, I start off with my morning pages from The Artist's Way, which I've still been doing like 65 days in. While according to the book, I'm not technically supposed to share what I write in them. In general, my biggest stresses that I unload are not receiving paychecks in weeks, fears about this independent art career path just not working out long term. But for those of you wondering, yes, an independent artist's career will eat into your savings a lot. Assuming you have freelance projects lined up as an independent artist, you're more so getting paid in a delayed fashion, which is the part that most people have to adjust to. And remembering that even though you're not getting paid weekly, it doesn't mean that you're not getting paid at all. It's just you will need a different cushion amount. But the weeks that go by where you don't get paid still sometimes creates an unsettling feeling in your stomach when you don't really know when the next paycheck you get is not always a 100% promise or guarantee. So after my morning pages, I started working on one of my comics for Instagram, but even if you still are making money as an independent artist, it's still sometimes embarrassing to have to tell people that you've been laid off, you're unemployed, or just simply aren't working for a big company. I think a lot of this has to do with how our parents' generations and the years before are so accustomed to full-time employment and its stability, which I don't blame them for. It's a good thing to have, but I heard from somewhere that the only constant we have in this life is change. No matter what, change is always going to happen in nature and in us as people and in an entire society. The only way to really cope with change is learning to be adaptable, and with job markets and the economy being questionable right now, how can you blame people for wanting to try to pursue their own thing? And if anything, I think the opportunity to do your own thing now is greater than ever, but overcoming what others think of you can still be pretty difficult. I think one thing that's wild in our society is that people often get complimented for achieving things when they align with how it's been done, but the strength it takes to pivot during uncertain times is usually more so greeted with pity or concern, which, while comes from a well-intentioned place, can make you question yourself or feel shame about your career choice. You wouldn't always have to feel that way if you had a great website, and that's why I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Porkbun. Porkbun is ranked as the top domain name registrar by USA Today and holds ICANN accreditation, assuring credibility and reliability for domain name registration. Porkbun offers .art domains for artists, which can boost your visibility in the art community and industry. Using a .art domain makes it clear to visitors that you are established in the art world and helps you stand out uniquely. You know your website is getting too long when it sounds something like michellelamart.website.com when michellelam.art is more memorable for recruiters and clients, making it easier for them to recall who you are and what you do. Additionally, Porkbun provides free Whois privacy, free SSL certificates, web and email hosting trials, and more, ensuring both you and your site visitors protection at an affordable rate. To make your art portfolio and website pop out, visit the link below and use my code ARTMT to get your .art domain at Porkbun for a very low price. A big thanks to Porkbun for sponsoring today's video. I didn't really talk to people much about this, but one of my goals is to eventually make YouTube my more main social media account. Instagram has pretty much been my dominant platform in terms of where I began taking social media seriously as a career as an artist, and of course my community there is a lot bigger and honestly more engaging. But I find that Instagram lately has just been a little bit too fluctuating-y with its algorithm and and just the ways the people run the app seem to swing almost every month, whereas YouTube has kind of felt like a consistent place that kind of felt fair game for the most part. The other thing is that honestly, YouTube is just a better place as an artist to generate income, because even if my following and community here is smaller, for some reason ads just really love using long form videos as a place for their content. One of my biggest regrets actually is not taking YouTube that seriously, because when I first graduated from Cal Arts, I did have my YouTube channel already up and running, and it was actually getting so much more engagement at that time compared to now. But at that time in life, for some reason, I was still so dead set on just working in animation, and if I were to be real, I really still didn't think that social media or YouTube was a real job. So metrics and numbers really meant nothing to me. So when I first received my 100k subscriber play button, I really didn't think too much of it. I didn't take it seriously. In fact, I kind of made fun of it. And sometimes I wish that I appreciated that moment in my life a little bit more. And I also didn't monetize any of my videos and stupidly had a lot of copyrighted music used. But you know, as a kid or young adult, I was just really enjoying the passion of creating animation, art, and videos, and I am trying to find that version of myself again today, but with the addition of also trying to make that bag as an artist. So after doing more execution-based work, I'm gonna ease off the day by planning what's next in my week to come. A lot of anxiety comes with the instability of a freelance life, so I feel like to give ourselves the illusion of control, we plan for things. But the way I've been planning nowadays has been different. I used to plan for the sake of time management and assigning time slots to work, but now I'm more so planning the quality of the game plan for the art/content that I make. I literally dedicated a whole notebook I got for ideas broken down to Instagram comics, YouTube videos, and short form videos. And this notebook is from Audrey Okea. Instead of assigning times to do them throughout the week, I just list them out as bullet points to get done at whatever time, as long as it's done by that day. I personally got into a bad habit of just uploading and posting things for the sake of it every week. But, you know, doing that kind of creates lackluster ideas, and I would really like to start creating that quality from the bottom up again. So the goal is to still upload once a week. I'm just growing more thoughtful about the presentation behind the work I create, because I feel like sometimes the smallest attention to detail can be all that makes the difference in, you know, a comic or video. So now I'm gonna pack some Etsy orders, and some of you probably saw my latest video about why my small business failed, which was probably one of my better performing videos in a while, and also a testament behind how people are so much more interested in people's failures than their successes when it comes to online content. In that video, I pretty much talked about how my Etsy shop no longer really makes substantial money, which is honestly fine because my priorities in my independent art career have shifted more to other things like graphic novels and being an online creator. But ironically, after posting that video, I did ask if people would like to help me declutter by purchasing my remaining items, and to my surprise, y'all did. So now I can ship out these orders and make space for new exciting things. Ultimately, the greatest lesson I learned from Etsy is that you can't do everything as an artist, and each artist has different concoctions of what makes up their income. To some, an online shop makes the majority, or for people like me, it's more so a tipping jar these days. So uncertainty is one of those things that probably brings the most fear in pursuing an independent art job, but in one of my latest comics, I talked about how we never really had control over our lives in the first place. We just had things like a job, partner, and a plan that made us feel like we did have control. And it's not bad to have these things, but it's also important to know that these external factors could be taken away from us at any given moment, and that stability doesn't come from a job, money, or household or things, but more so from your ability to find inner peace despite not having all of your ducks in a row. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one.